Let's have a little look at a clip of one mother at the Epping protest who's very concerned about the existence of a migrant hotel.
We felt a lot of the press were incorrectly reporting us on Friday morning after our protest on Thursday. And so we just wanted to make it really clear that we're strong women, we're mums, we're sisters, we're aunties, we're parents of the area. So we're just here to support. Everybody is really concerned about who is in that hotel. Crime in the area is shocking, and this is a beautiful place to live. And we are all very concerned, as are other people in other towns around the country. We need to stick together, peaceful protest, and the government need to listen to us. They need to listen to real people on the ground, people that work hard and love their country. And we're here to protect that. Our values are very important and we must protect them.
Well, she doesn't seem like a hard right nutter to me, but a very nice ordinary woman, probably with genuine concerns. Let's speak to Laurie Wastell now, who's Associate Editor of the Daily Sceptic. Is there, Laurie, a head of steam over this, where people are sort of looking at things online or reading certain reports and beginning to sort of tar all of these asylum seekers with the same brush, when many of them are just poor struggling souls of doing their best to better their lives and mean no harm to anybody and just want to come here and get a job and contribute? Or is there enough empirical evidence out there to say that the people of Epping Forest and other people around the country who want to protest against migrant hotels have every reason to be worried?
Yes, and I think you're quite right on the second part of it, Alex, and thanks for having me on. I think actually that's a really good point you make. I mean, people are worried in their towns and cities across the country, and often these kinds of concerns can be dismissed as anecdotal evidence or just, happening once or twice. But in fact, your caller there, Karen in Bournemouth, I mean, I think you're really right to raise that. You've got a sense that there's something going on in Bournemouth, and so has she. And in fact, the Mail on Sunday came out with an investigation yesterday about migrant crime coming from these hotels up and down the country. And I'll just read you the stats for Bournemouth, which are just extraordinary. 116 charges have been brought against 51 asylum seekers living across the 3 hotels there, I think 2 of which are right on the seafront. And so, there can be attempts to say, oh, this is just, a storm in a teacup. But I think that's absolutely not true. And people are really waking up to this now.
Blimey, 116 charges in Bournemouth alone with 51 asylum seekers. And he's kind of, look, Bournemouth's a beautiful beach. We've got, everyone's moans about climate change. We've had a lovely summer. I would like to see the big hotels in places like Bournemouth or Skegness or Scunthorpe or Blackpool or wherever it may be that have been very often, not so much Bournemouth, but other places left dilapidated. I'd love to see those things re-gentrified and the great British seaside holiday brought back to inject money into our economy, give us a sense of pride about where we live again. And yet we're giving this accommodation for free. We're paying for it for other people to stay there who clearly are not obeying law and order. I read over the course of the weekend that 1 in 100 asylum seekers in hotels have been charged with something. And actually, to be charged with an offence, to be up in front of magistrates, is quite far down the process. Who knows how many other crimes or low-level disturbance are just not even being reported.
Well, that's another really good point you make there, Alex, because, of course, this was a Mail on Sunday investigation, and they did very well what they actually had to do was trawl through records of magistrates' courts and things and tally them up with those few defendants who had actually specified that their address was an asylum hotel. But, of course, one of the reasons they have to do this in such a painstaking way to reveal it to the public, or rather to really confirm to the public what a lot of them already knew, is that the government doesn't really keep proper track of these asylum hotels, and especially the crimes that are committed out of them. And there's a whole really culture of secrecy. I mean, of course, we've seen this with the cover-up of the rehousing of all of those Afghans that emerged last week. But another example that's really interesting, I mean, one of them who were coming in and wanting to use these hotels as somewhere to ride and be a Deliveroo rider, for instance, and make a bit of money doing that. And this is a real pull factor. And so Deliveroo, in fact, has been doing its due diligence and trying to geo-block the locations of these hotels so that people can't illegally work and make money like that, who've come over in a small boat perhaps. Now, last week it emerged that the Home Office was refusing to disclose the location of asylum hotels with Deliveroo to aid in that, and they cited safety concerns. So they're not being straight with people about the locations of these hotels, and then they're not really, they're totally unwilling to get a grip on it.
Yeah, do you know, it's really difficult because you still feel, even if you're outspoken on a subject like me, you still feel like you're going to get yourself into trouble. You're going to be accused of being a xenophobe or a racist by suggesting that these people coming over on boats, breaking into the country, might not necessarily share our cultural mores or indeed want to live within the parameters of the laws of the land. Laurie, thank you ever so much. Laurie Wastell, the Associate Editor of the Daily Sceptic. I'm going